children leave town. Some men light bonfires along the beach and stand guard at night. Others stay locked in their homes for fear of being targeted.
I saw the people's fear. I saw the feeling of terror these people had, and I saw the plea for help that the people were making.
It seems as if someone or something is attacking the people of Colares. No one knows why. September 1977. Panic has overtaken the remote Brazilian island of Colares, 68 miles north of Belém. Dozens of residents say they've been attacked by strange beams of light, emitted by unidentified objects in the sky. At that time, Dr. Valaide Carvalho is the 24-year-old director of the local healthcare unit. She has been on the island for only 6 months. Over the last few days, the young doctor has seen an increase in her patient load, many of whom claim they have been injured by these unexplained lights.
People kept showing up, and I was getting irritated because I thought it was getting to be too much. It was mass hallucination. It was mass delirium. I had more and more cases. I remained skeptical, thinking they had all gone crazy for some reason.
The symptoms the doctor sees are all the same. The patients display what appear to be radiation burns, as well as unusual puncture marks. Physician Daniel Rabiso studied the events on Colares.
The marks were generally at the thorax level, shoulders, chest, cases on the thigh, the leg, and generally the burn was small. It wasn't very extensive, a maximum of 15 centimeters in diameter. Dr. Valaide observed small papillas as if there were 2 small injections in the location of the wound.
Victims report that these burns were caused when the light made contact with their skin. But the wounds are unlike any burns the young doctor has treated before.
The marks caused by the burns turned black suddenly, as if they were burns that had been around for 10 days or so. However, many times it had only been 10 minutes since they were made.
And the doctor's most disturbing cases are yet to come. In September, she examines a woman whom relatives claim has been attacked inside her home by a bright light.
She arrived being carried by family members. She was already in a state of spasms, as if she was having cardiac arrest. Her mouth was shut tight, her eyes were closed, she had no reflexes at all.
Carvalho tries to stabilize the woman's condition, but there's no sign of improvement.
There was nothing more we could do. The only thing left was to put her in a car, since we didn't have an ambulance, and drive her to Belém.
Carvalho waits for an update on the woman's condition. 5 days later, another serious case is brought to her clinic. A woman whom witnesses say was hit by a strong beam of light while standing in her yard.
She arrived in a squad car in such a profound state of rigidity that they couldn't fold her into the car. And she came lying on the back seat with her legs sticking out because they couldn't bend them in.
Carvalho sends this patient to the city as well. Soon, the doctor receives word from the regional hospital in Belém about her patients. They are both dead.
I had requested that the cause of death be determined because it was of interest to the population. And the cause of death was listed as unknown.
Carvalho still does not believe that beams of light attacked her patients, but she suspects that the growing hysteria over the sightings may have led to a heart attack or stroke. Hoping to put an end to the panic, Carvalho and other town officials begged the mayor for help. In September, the mayor contacts the Regional Air Command of the Brazilian Air Force, or COMAR. It is at this point that COMAR assigns Captain Yorange Holanda to lead a team of Air Force officers in an investigation of the strange events on the island. According to reporter Carlos Mendez, who is researching the events on Colares, Holanda's team may have been dispatched because the area has been the site of repeated guerrilla attacks by communist rebels. The reporter believes the Air Force assumes the lights are being created by weapons fire in the jungle, and Holanda's job is to track down the rebels.
I believe that the objective of the military in Colares was first of all to investigate if there was any subversive activity from communist agents.
But if that's the case, the project is given a curious name. Captain Holanda's mission is known as Operation Saucer. He assembles his team quickly. 37-year-old civilian Pinon Frias is brought on as a pilot.
There was suspicion that it was a type of device that was violating Brazilian airspace. We didn't know what country it was from, but something was violating airspace. The Air Force has the obligation to verify what it's about.
At the beginning of September, Holanda's team of officers, engineers, and scientists arrives on Colares. The men erect shelters and set up telescopes and cameras on nearby beaches. Their activities are carried out in full view of the island's residents, in the hope of calming the fear that has gripped the island.
When we arrived in Colares, there was total panic in the town. The population wasn't sleeping because of the fear. Despite attempts to calm them down, we couldn't do it, especially the older residents, some of whom had been affected by the lights.
Once on the island, the Operation Saucer team tries to gather as much information as possible. Captain Holanda immediately goes to see Dr. Carvalho.
The first thing proposed to me at 6 o'clock in the morning when I received the Air Force entourage was that I tell the community from that point on that all these cases of affected people were mass hysteria.
For the doctor, the meeting is an early sign that the Air Force is not interested in seeking the truth, but in covering it up instead. Carvalho refuses to go along with their plan.
I couldn't trick a community that expected so much from me, especially support and credibility.
Holanda also meets with local eyewitnesses, including then 48-year-old Emilio Campos Oliveira, a resident who says he's been burned on his thigh by the light.
They came to see me. They photographed where I was hit. The only ones who saw my mark were people from the Air Force. They saw the mark.
The sightings continue throughout the next 4 months. Captain Holanda's team is busy collecting information from witnesses and town officials. Their surveillance equipment is in use 24 hours a day. But the Air Force does not release their findings to the public. Those who think that Operation Saucer will help determine the truth are disappointed. Instead, some believe a cover-up has already begun. By October 1977, the strange occurrences on the island of Colares have caused the Brazilian Air Force to investigate. Residents claim that UFOs have attacked them with powerful beams of light. Some people develop strange burn marks on their skin after the encounters. Two women have even died. The Air Force's project Operation Saucer, under the leadership of Captain Urange Holanda, is gathering information on the mysterious sightings.
The military did not take weapons to Colares. Their weapons were cameras. Lots of cameras.
Over a 4-month period, Holanda and his team take photos and make sketches. These are their actual drawings. They also conduct interviews with the residents, including Dr. Valaide Carvalho,